Hello, in this video we're going to cover the topic of passing in an object as parameters to a function or a method. So last time when we talked about returning an instance as from a function, the clone method, if you notice, we already passed in an instance of car to the clone object. So in many ways, this is very similar to passing in a list as a parameter to a method or a function. So if you're familiar with that, this topic is pretty much the same thing, but we just want to make sure we understand how things work when we pass in an instance of a user-defined class to a method or a function. Okay, so let's take a closer look. Now, what we want to do, just as for demonstration purpose, is that we want to write a method that will make sure that the make attribute of a car is capitalized. So in this example that I show here, the make of the car is not capitalized. The first H should be a capital H. So we just want to write a method to make sure that kind of mistake is not can be corrected. Okay. Now again, there are multiple ways of doing this. We can either write it as an instance method or as a static method. Now for the demonstration purpose, we will again write it as a static method. And as a matter of fact, I think this should be should not be too difficult. So why don't you pause the video and give it a try first. Okay, assuming you have done that, this is my attempt to capitalize the make attribute of a car. So again, static method, I'm going to say capitalize make of a car, and car is again an instance of the car class. So we're going to say the make should be the make capitalized. Okay, and the reason I have to I cannot just say that is because if you remember, string is immutable. So when I say string capitalized, it returns a copy of the string that is capitalized. So I have to assign that copy back, to the attribute itself. Otherwise, the attribute is not changed. It's not mutated at all because it's immutable. Okay, so I'll in this case call capitalized the car, and then I'll print the car again. Okay, so let's run it. And lo and behold, the make attribute of the car is capitalized now. Okay, so the important thing to kind of realize here is, or this is trying to demonstrate is, okay, I'm going to change this name to my car as the slide shows, so as to maybe hopefully reduce part of the confusion. Is that so my car is an instance in the caller, it's in the global scope, okay, and the car is a parameter, it's local to the method capitalize. However, the change make to car or car's attribute is visible back in the caller's variable here, which is, in the caller it's called my car, and we see the change in my car even though we make the change inside a method. Okay, so that's what we're trying to demonstrate here, and the way it works is that, okay, when we start with my car, pointing to a car object with the all lowercase make Honda. Okay, when we come into the method, when we call the method, the parameter car is assigned the reference of my car. So my car, the global variable, and car, the parameter, they both reference the same object or the same instance of car. And then obviously when we change that instance attribute to a different value, then that change is visible through both the parameter and the global variable, because they both just point to the same the same instance. So that same instance is just passed around, and that's why, yeah, the change is visible everywhere. Okay, this is as opposed to a different kind of change, and I can demonstrate it here. Let's say we are just writing a different static method, and I'm going to call it for car. Now, instead of changing a particular attribute of the car instance, I'm going to change what the name car is associated with. So I'm going to make it a different car. In this case, Tesla, my other favorite model, 2019. And then guess what? Am I going to change my car here magically turn into Tesla M3 if I call car.full car? Okay. Print, oh no, my car. Okay. Let's see, and the answer is no. Okay, my car is still referencing what it referenced before. And again, because doing it this way, it just changes what the parameter car points to, but it doesn't change what my car, the global variable, points to. So if you need a picture of that, and so at this point, right before we call full with my car, or at the time that we call full my car, both my car and the car parameter is pointing to the same instance. However, as soon as we say car equal to a different car object, then car, the parameter, is pointing to a different instance of car, but whatever the global my car was referring to or is referencing before is still reference the same instance as before. So now these two, the parameter car and the global variable my car, they are referencing two different instances. Okay, so that's why whatever change that we might make here is not going to be reflected back in the global my car. All right, so that's the end of this video.